Hello everybody, today I'm doing my September-October reading wrap up. I'm going to jump straight in. There's not that many books. Let's start with September. In September I read 2 books and they were absolutely amazing. The first book I read was the sequel to Alice, which was in my previous wrap up, and that is Red Queen. I actually got a discount on this one when I bought it because the pages, I fixed them now, but the pages were all crumpled and torn. I've managed to flatten it. I held it between 2 heavy books, so now it's not as bad. So I got 10% discount off it. This is obviously the sequel. It's absolutely amazing. I can't go into too much detail of this one if you haven't read Alice, because I don't want to spoil anything. And they're just on a mission to find someone for Hatcher, and I think it's really, really good. I can't really say much about it without spoiling it, but I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read in September was one that was being made into a movie, so I've got the movie cover, and I recently watched the movie as well. That was Nerve by Jeanne Ryan. I read this book in like a day. It's quite a thin book. It's not a very chunky book. It's 294 pages, which, depending on how I'm feeling, usually takes me 2 to 3 days, depending on how fast I'm reading. But this one, like one day. I read like 3 chapters, one like in the evening of one night, so I don't really count it. And then I read the rest in a day. If you don't know what it's about, this is about a girl named V whose friend Sydney wanted to do Nerve, which is an online game where you are a player or a watcher. And Sydney says something which, in the end, makes V play this game where she meets a guy named Ian and they become a team and they have to get through the game, through the finals, and basically just survive. This was such an amazing book. I don't think, in all honesty, you need to read the book to watch the movie because the movie is completely different, but it was done really well that it didn't bother me that it was different. Next up is the books in October that I read. Again, there are 2 books. Let's jump straight in. The first book in October I read was Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List by Rachel Conn. I think that's how you say it. I saw Zoe say it like that. And David Levithan. I still can't get that right. This is obviously about a girl named Naomi and a boy named Eli who have a no-kiss list. They have a falling out after Eli kisses Naomi's boyfriend, basically falls in love with him, and then they become friends again, and it's all beautiful and lovely. Don't want to spoil it too much. But I've actually picked up Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist because it's written by the same people, and I was waiting to see if I enjoyed this one first, and I did. I loved it. I really did not like Naomi at all until like the last few chapters of the book. I just really hated being in her point of view because I really enjoyed it and I highly recommend giving it a read. I watched the movie straight after finishing the book and loved them equally. I did enjoy the book a lot more, but I preferred movie Naomi to book Naomi, which is never a good thing. But I just thought Naomi was a bit bitchy, and obviously that's how she's supposed to be in the story, but I didn't really get on with that. The next and last book I read in October is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. I think I finished this in 1 to 2 days, and I'm not actually keeping the book. I loved it, but it's not a book I'll read again, at least not for a long time. As much as I very much enjoyed it, I'm actually selling it to my friend because she wants to read it. But I really enjoyed it. If you've read it, you know that there are sections in here that are set out like a movie, and I said to my friend, a different friend, not the one that's buying it, that it would be so cool to see those as an actual movie, but I wouldn't want them to ruin the story. But if you don't know, it's about a girl with social anxiety. She can't leave her house, and she always wears dark glasses, and she doesn't like being in strangers' company or people she doesn't really know's company. Her brother's friend stumbles out of nowhere and they become really, really close, and it's really cool. And she basically just comes out of her shell and it's absolutely amazing. Loved it. I would definitely read more Sophie Kinsella stuff. So that's it for my September-October reading wrap up. All my links are in the description box below, so follow me on all my social media. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you next time with another video. Bye guys.